change the way you look at your life. Just listen. Motivation isn't given, it's built through consistent action. It's not something you're born with. It's the reward you get from making consistent progress over time. You don't get inspired without first doing the work. Every single second you waste waiting for motivation to strike, you lose the opportunity to build your dream. You don't need motivation. What you need is discipline. The truth is, motion always beats motivation. Stop waiting to feel ready for a moment that'll never arrive, because you've never leveled up while you were drifting on autopilot. So stop waiting to make the right decision. Instead, make the decision, then make it right. That's how you get motivated. Just give me.
Welcome. First, I'd like to recognize Noelle Adams for her promotion to trainer. Woohoo! Promotions are important because they show that someone's not only producing, but in Noelle's case, she's developing leaders to the next level as she's developing herself. And Heath, congratulations on helping support this development. Noelle, keep building on what you're doing here and start thinking about who can you help next to that next level. Congratulations, Noelle. So excited for you and your promotion to trainer. Also, huge promotion here. Congratulations goes out to Tanya Zapata on her promotion to district coordinator. A promotion like this is a reminder that leadership is built through development and consistency. Michael Givens, congratulations on helping orchestrate this. You're on fire, brother. Tanya, the next level is not just about owning your production. It's about your ability to help others to that next level for you, which is RM by leadership meeting. And we're going to hear from her exactly how to make that happen today. Let's recognize everyone who's completed their certificates this last week. Take a look and see if any of these names are in your region or if you are represented by each of these names. Also, completion matters because training gives you the tools to execute. But completing the training is only the beginning. The real question is, are you taking what you've learned into your appointments and using it to produce not only just for better results, but to perfect your first, perfect your second, and to help clients move from an income gap that they had to having more money in retirement. That's our goal. Here we're looking at agents who have been producing over the last 2 weeks. Hey, I want everyone to study this list, not just celebrate it. If your name is here, keep the momentum going. If your name is not here, use this as motivation to make sure your name shows up next week. The goal is to create consistent production, not just one good week followed by a quiet week, but having consistent production week after week after week, like many of you are doing right now. So excited about our production this last week. Here are the top 10 agents by issue paid year to date. This right here shows the people that not only are consistently producing, but also following up to make sure that that business goes issue paid. And take a look at who has moved up the ranks in this area. The lesson is not simply who's on the list. The lesson is these producers are doing repeatedly what the others can and what everybody here on this call can duplicate. All right, here are our submitted numbers this last week. We are recognizing the company on the top 8 regions here on this report right here. So submission is part of the process. What gets submitted gets tracked. What gets tracked gives leadership the ability to coach. Let's continue to build the habit of submitting consistently and accurately. This slide recognizes the top region or area to date that has gone issue paid. Congratulations to those producing at such a high level. For everyone else, don't just look at the result, look at the habits behind the result. The objective is to learn what we can do to duplicate the results that we're seeing on this slide. These are our Afortus YouTube channel statistics. The purpose of Afortus TV is not just simply to have another video channel. It's a way for us to train, communicate, recognize success, and strengthen the Afortus brand. Let's continue to use this channel as a resource and not only help each other, ourselves, but getting more and more people to reach out to us, to making Afortus a household name. If it's been a minute since you've viewed, subscribed, or liked the videos that are on YouTube, please jump into the Afortus channel today and make that a course correction for you. As you can see, our views are down and our subscribers are down from last week. We've really had a trajectory up. It's just bumped down a little bit here. Help us make that course correction today. Here are the ways that you can do that. Help make Afortus a household name. This week, I want everyone to help. Number one, share, subscribe, and like a comment, and that helps increase our reach. Our mission is simple: like every post, subscribe to YouTube, share one video, comment on every video, and tell somebody about Afortus. And don't limit that engagement to one platform. We have YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and the Afortus website. Together, we don't just build agents, we build the Afortus brand. Don't be a secret agent. This is how you let your light shine. Now let's recognize our first-time producers and our new openers and closers. Every producer starts somewhere. The important thing is to taking the first step and then building the skills that allow you to repeat the result. If you're new, don't compare your beginning to someone else's finish. Focus on mastering your next step. Congratulations to each of you. We have Jamaica Jones, brand new opener out of Michael Given's region. Sherry Sari out of closer out of Ruth Erdman's region. Sharana Dela Cruz, brand new closer out of Heath Thompson's region. And Gina Gillette out of Michael Given's region, first-time producer. Congratulations to each of you and your position.
Hey, Brett.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Just a quick thought. These closers sometimes are not trained or promoted by a regional manager. And so I do want to give congratulations to Chantra V for her great work helping Charna get to that closer position. I just wanted to give her a shout out.
Thank you, Heath. Here are the company top 10 in submitted. Recognition matters because it reinforces the behaviors we want to repeat. So study the people on this list. What are you doing consistently? More importantly, what can you copy and implement this week to cause yourself to duplicate what you're doing from the previous week into the next week? These are the top 10 agents in IPSY. IPSY isn't about simply having a goal on paper. It's about creating enough activity and production to move toward that goal. If you're on the list, protect your momentum. If you're not, identify exactly what you need to do to get there. Here are our top 10 consistency. Consistency is one of the biggest differences between temporary success and dependable income. You don't need to have a perfect week every week. You just need to keep doing the right activities week after week. And you can see what those results look like because of doing that. Here is the top Punta Cana resort recognition. Recognition and rewards are part of the creating momentum, but remember, the reward is the result. Focus first on the activities, production, and consistency that put you in position to earn that reward. And take a look at the numbers and who's moved up the ladder and where we're at today. Remember, today is August 10th, 2026. Count the number of weeks between now and the end of the year. We're at, and based upon today's update, how many weeks remaining you have to push yourself to 112,000 in target premium with both F&G life and annuity points, so that you too are qualified and are there with us at Pocahontas. All right, let's talk about game film. Why do athletes watch film? Let's have a discussion about that.
To
Thoughts?
improve themselves. To improve themselves.
There we go.
Learn from past mistakes.
Say that again.
Learn from past mistakes.
There you go.
And learn what you did right.
And potentially live what you just did that day. They're sitting there watching their iPad almost directly just right after it happened, right? And why are they doing that?
Because it ingrains in your brain the things that you've done, the things that you need to change, and the things you can do better.
Beautifully said. Because they don't want to rely on memory or guesswork. They study what actually happened so they can make adjustments. I mean, we have a script, right? So why would we need to review what we just did and continue to do that over and over again? Yes, Ruth?
Because we do it so many times that we may forget something on the script.
Good point. Good point. I found, just like an athlete, we can prepare as much as we want to, but there's things during the moment that happen that come up. And we live in this society today to where unless we review and solve the problem in what happens in our current presentation, especially things that we weren't counting on or kind of threw us off, or were a little bit of a curveball, we have to always come back to what is that standard, the true north, what actually got us the success that we needed and wanted. And I found that by watching the best and understanding who is our top leaders and what they're doing is what brings us back to that true north. And that's the reason why it's so critical for new agents to see us as regional managers doing their training by their real live ride-along appointments that they're on that day, that week, so that they can see how that first presentation is to happen. And our appointments are the same way. If we want to get better, we have to be willing to review the performance, identify the opportunities, and make that next appointment better than the last appointment. So what can an agent learn from watching their own appointments or from others that are doing ride-alongs and watching their regional managers doing appointments? Maybe somebody new that hasn't spoken.
Confidence.
There we go. Thank you for that.
Being able to emulate what you're seeing that is working.
Anything that's worked for you this past week or this past month that has allowed for you to write production, and an example that relates to exactly what we're talking about here. Or something that's hit a regional manager maybe for the first time and says, you know what, this is something that I could improve on and be better at in helping my agent succeed. Thanks for those discussion points. Now let's bring the same idea directly into appointment reviews. Why are appointment reviews important for the agents and the RMs?
Basically, they're important, Brett. If an RM is watching their agent, they're going over their level 3 or their first presentation or second presentation, we can pick out what they're doing wrong. Okay, we can correct them and put them back on the right road. If we don't look at their videos, we really don't know where the agent is at. So that's part of us teaching our agents to put them on the right road, but also as a regional manager, keeping your flock close to you and making sure that they're on the right road to win.
Yeah. It's been a minute, but just a little bit of insight of where appointment reviews even came from is that what happened is you can allow a day to turn into a week and a week to turn into a month, and then you have lost a month's worth of appointments. And I went out on an actual appointment that an agent did back in the day before we were doing everything on Zoom. You would actually physically go in person to meet with your clients. And I was in a business with a top agent, and his first presentation had just gotten enough off to where it was not able to produce the results. And until I actually saw it, you couldn't see the problem. Well, this is the problem. It's difficult when you're running all of your region and your business to be able to watch every video or watch an actual first presentation being given. But an appointment review, you can do every single appointment review that everybody in your region is doing. It's simple. It takes 30 seconds to listen to it, even, speed up the recording. A 2-minute message you can get done in 30 seconds, and then return and report and just respond back to that agent. You now solve a problem the day of the problem instead of a month later by watching a video. And so that's the reason why appointment reviews are so important, is because it's the course correction and the coaching that is given by answering back to the agent. So this is my request, is if you're an agent and you're not getting that request from your regional manager, call your regional manager, make sure that that's happening. If you're a regional manager and it's been a minute since you've listened to their appointment reviews on Voxer, make that course correction and start listening to every appointment review today. And by answering them back, that's how you not only improve the results, but if you want to make sure that every close you are giving comes prepared to be able to close that client, you can do it by appointment reviews. Appointment reviews are that answer. And if you want to be that true surgeon, this is the way we make that happen. Because improvement requires feedback. An agent should not have to repeat the same mistake appointment after appointment. So listen to me again as I repeat that. The agent should not have to repeat the same mistake appointment after appointment before someone helps them correct it. So let's focus on making sure that we make that course correction from each appointment review to the next appointment review, so that we all can improve and have the success that we all need and want. See, without appointment reviews, the risks are clear. We repeat mistakes, lose sales without knowing why, build bad habits, and slow our progression. With appointment reviews, feedback is fresh. We know what to keep, what to improve, how to build confidence before the next appointment. The process is simple. First, you do the first appointment. Then you do the review on Voxer. And then you have your regional manager, district coordinator report back to you through Voxer on that appointment review that you just did, and then rinse and repeat. That's how we review, adjust, improve, and then earn more. Agents, why would you not want improvement between appointments? Or why would you want improvement between appointments? What's that going to do for you?
Get better and sell more.
Exactly. And leaders.
Confidence.
There we go.
Wow.
And for you leaders, why would you want to help? Why wouldn't you want to help your agents improve? And isn't that a simple way? Is there an RM out there that could not respond to every appointment review that comes through Voxer so that their next second or close is better than their last? Their next second shows up and is ready to be closed. How does that happen? By making each appointment review better than the last. So when appointment reviews improve production, whose income increases?
Everybody's.
Exactly. Both the agents and the leaders. All right, let's turn some time over to Cuman Dixon, the master.
Hello, everybody hear me?
Yep.
Great.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
talk about jump starting your income. We are all here for a reason. We're here to make money. We're here to receive appointments. And so great as Afortus TV is, or Rick's meeting, or Ruth's meeting on Saturday, or masterclass, it doesn't actually make you money unless you implement the things that they're talking about. But what I'm talking about here today is getting on appointments. So let's go to the next slide. So remember, Brett last week gave us a reset. This is week 1. So it doesn't matter if you started in January or last week or longer. This is your second week because we have a fresh start. So turn on your income this week. There's 3 simple steps to get on appointments, and that is the first presentation video is a level 3, which means that you are giving it. It does not sound like it's being read. It's smooth. You're not having to search around and pause a lot to find where you are in the F&A, and that you are giving some pain at the income gap. You're coming at it 2, 3, 4 different ways, and they're also giving them hope, a reason to show up for the second appointment. And so that level 3 first presentation video is vital, and I look at those when they are sent in to pass those off. So very, very important. Second one is a training sale, 3,600 points minimum on a training sale. And this is a point of friction for a lot of people, kind of slows them down. But what I want to tell you is figure it out. If you don't have a warm market, when's the last time you went through a memory jogger? Because I can almost guarantee you will find some extra names you never even thought of. Or also, are you working with B leads, getting some appointments set up that way? Anything, annual reviews, vertical market. Are you talking to people in the at the grocery store line, asking them what they do for a living? They're going to ask you that back. What are you doing to create a training cell? Please figure it out. Let's get that training cell done this week and the video done this week. And make sure when you do the video that I can see the F&A being filled out, or it won't pass. Just a side note on the video. And then enter that sale. We have many times somebody will get their training sale and I can't move them forward because it's not in their stat report. It needs to be in their stat report so they can have points for IPSI and be able to receive more appointments. So it's another important part of that. So those 3 steps. Let's go to the next slide. The other half of this is if you're out of IPSI, figure out how to get back in IPSI. We want you in IPSI. We want you receiving appointments. Of course, that's not the only appointments you're going to run every week. You're going to have your callbacks, your follow-ups, your B leads. You're going to talk to people, new world market names, annual reviews. You can even purchase appointments if you want to, or pay an assistant to set appointments for you. Here's an example. And we didn't cover Tom's name. Tom, sorry about that. My apologies ahead of time. But this is a couple weeks old. So he's at 72.42% IPSI. So he's just barely out. 1,645 points will get him back into 75%. But he needs the cushion too. So when you're looking at your dial on the homepage of the portal, you see this dial and it says 72, it says 65, whatever it says. Underneath that in yellow, it'll say points for appointments, 5245. That's the 1645 plus 3600 in cushion. That's what that means, because you need the cushion to start again. So you're just not back out of IPSI in 1 week after receiving appointments. You need that time for those to go issue paid. So the first thing I want to do if you're getting back in IPSI and when you're getting back in IPSI is do a mind check. I want you to figure out what put you out in the first place. And now here's my rule. You cannot blame the appointments or Afortus. Go past that, and then what is the next thing that puts you out of IPSI? Are you following me there? So figure out what it was that happened, and then promise yourself you're not going to let that happen again. You need to have that right up front, or you go back in IPSI, you repeat the same problems. And that's an important part of appointment reviews as well. So you can. Oh, Ruth, you have a question?
Yeah, commonly it's unplaced appointments, or you had a great big chunk of numbers. You got a great big chunk of IPSI points, and then they rolled off. It's normally what happens to me. So I might have a huge annuity, and then that rolled off after it got paid, and then all of a sudden, then your IPSI drops. So when you win big, you lose big. So it's the same thing.
Just keep that in mind. 5 months later, all those issue paid points are going to drop off of your IPSI.
And it's getting ready to go to 4. So yeah, so as it constantly is rolling, your IPSI is constantly changing.
So it's very important to be consistent. Keep that money coming into your IPSI points every week. Then you can avoid that type of an issue. Number 2, determine what the amount is to get back in IPSI. In this case, it's 5245. Calculate how many cells it'll take to reach that goal, and determine to give 10 first presentations every week. Now, you're not in IPSI, so where are those presentations going to come from? Again, there's a list on the list of yellow items on the right. But if you'll do this, if you'll work hard for 1 to 2 weeks, you'll be back in IPSI. And the best part of it is you'll get paid for it. You'll get paid for your efforts, right? You'll have that business that goes in, and you'll have that issue paid coming to you. So there is a tool that can help you. Go to the next slide if you want.
Sherry has a question.
Oh, Sherry, I missed Sherry. Sorry. Okay.
She's in the chat.
Oh, it's in the chat. Sorry.
The question isn't. She just says, "May I ask a question?" So.
Oh, Sherry, you there?
Okay.
Maybe Sherry, you can put it in the chat.
She's
okay,
there. I told her just to raise her hand. She'll be able to do it.
Sherry, just jump in when you're able to, and I'll stop talking. All right, this is on the 10F momentum tracker. If you don't have that, this is on I believe it's in the Academy. And you can open this up, and it has several different tabs on the form. This is one of them. Getting back in IPSI. Here's Roger Ramjet, 7242, placement, points needed to get back in appointments. Roger's already expecting a 3,600 to go issue paid in the next 7 days, so it leaves a balance of 1645. So this is kind of a worksheet you can use to dial in exactly what you're going to do to get back into IPSI that week. And that's called the 10F Momentum Tracker. And what I will do is I'll send this out, a copy of this out to the company today if you'd like to do that. Okay, Tom. Tom has said that if you look at my IPSI today, I am back in the game. See, that's what we're talking about. Sorry about that, Tom, but I appreciate your understanding on that. But that was a good example. All right, so figure it out. Enter your IPSI, your placement, your points needed, what you anticipate this week. The first already on the calendar. Supplemental appointments. Are you using a CRM? Are you using the weekly activity tracker, which is we talked about last week? And then enter the first and second appointments, and then you'll But the key is, and that's why the key is there, is 10 first appointments given a week. All right, any other questions? Sherry, are you there?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I had trouble with my computer. Yeah, I have a question. So the first 3 weeks I got appointments, I got a whole bunch of them. But like, I think 65% of the people never answered their call, and I've texted, I've emailed, I've called back at least 4 times on each one of those people. No, I can't get them on. I got 40 something B leads in the last week or so. I got one appointment, which I have today actually. So I sit here every day with a warm market and I go through the B leads. I'm asking constantly what I could do, and people are helping me. Ruth and Robin have been, helping me, of course. But I had big sales in the beginning. I just sold another new, I got a couple appointments. But when the leads you give us don't answer the phone, I don't understand how we get punished for it and not get out of IPSI when all these appointments don't answer their phones. And I'm not saying I didn't make any mistakes in the beginning. Obviously I did, but I'm talking about they don't answer the phone, and you contact them 3-4 extra times and they don't answer. So that puts us out of IPSI. I don't understand how that is us new agents. We have no other income coming, and we do everything that our Ruth and Robin tell us, and Robin will tell you I'm a workaholic and I get nothing, and I get punished for being out of IPSI. I think when they don't answer, or we get this stuff and they don't answer, I don't know how us new agents gets punished for it, because we are working warm leads. We're doing everything we can. I think it just kind of stinks for us, and I'm a workaholic. I'll do whatever it takes to make a sale, but I'm not getting the opportunity because people aren't answering the phone. So I'm
Well, I've got a couple comments on that.
Sorry if there's a little aggravation in my voice there.
Yes, a couple of notes on that is look at some different things. How's your confirmation? You don't have to tell me right now, but check your confirmation, see if there's anything you can do to kind of change the way you confirm the appointments. That might help a little bit. This happens, Tom Feedback says this happens to old agents as well. But the key is, this is where that 10 first appointments given every week from the other sources comes into play very well, because the other sources are going to be much more likely to show up. They're going to be able to get the sales easier. You don't want to not receive Afortus appointments. You want to continue to do that, and you'll have some batches that are great and some batches that are not. And it also is somewhat cyclical. As school is starting now again, so you're going to find a little less of that. But anyway, who is your regional manager?
Sherry? Right here. So Sherry, first of all, you're almost back in IPSI. So your 3,900 points will put you back on appointments. You're 308 points back to IPSI. But the reality is it is cyclical. It happens to all of us. And the bottom line is, all we can do is just keep working them, keep calling people, and then go from there. But it is frustrating. I get that, and I know where you're coming from. It happens to all of us, and I'm like, what? I write so much.
I got 3 weeks of appointments, and I got a bunch of them, and nobody answered the phone.
Right.
And it's like,
well,
I don't understand. And
continue to work with
Michael Givens. Please,
yes,
go ahead and share.
Share concerning the conversation?
Yes, the conversation, Michael.
Okay. Basically, you got to open up your world market. Okay. You cannot live with just the Afortus leads. 6 leads a week, 10 leads a week, sometimes 15. I might go through 15 and might not close anything. Okay. But when I first started, I went a year and a half before I turned my leads on. It was all world market what I brought in. Okay. And I'm getting back to that. So basically what we have to do, we've got to take our Afortus leads, and remember, that is not the main course. That's the dessert. That's the dessert. Okay, so we need to get out there as individual agents, and we need to find our own clients. Okay, every time I walk out of my house, I got my radar on. Beep, beep, beep. I'm looking for people, okay, to talk to.
You haven't met me yet. That's exactly what I do. I'm not there.
Oh, she does. She has a radar. She has a
radar. And
Okay,
it just stinks right now, but I do get these. Never mind. I thank you for your advice. I'm sorry. Please go on. I apologize. I'm just a little frustrated at the moment.
Okay, it's okay, because we all get frustrated. All right. But basically what we have to do is we just have to be out there. This B lead domination, man, this is a great thing. Okay. My agents have picked up applications on this B lead domination. You put world market in there, and then we have our dessert. Okay. And sometimes we're still going to fall out of IPSY, but we have to use all the tools that are available for us, okay, to stay in IPSY and to keep turning applications in.
Sherry, do you mind if I use your question and recording of what you asked about and turn that into an Afortus TV meeting? Because we could go on and on about discussing that, but I have some real true live answers for you
Yes,
that
sir.
we
Yeah,
could.
just tell me what to do. I'll do it. I mean, you can ask Ruth. I do whatever you guys tell me. And
Okay.
I do
Right.
what Michael says. I do the warm market. I do, well, I'll tell you real quick, sir, is that Ruth has explained to me, I've owned businesses my whole life, and I've always had extreme instant success of anything I sell. I'm very much an in-person salesperson. However, I have one of the best warm markets there is. Unfortunately, I ran restaurants and gate and vending machine businesses. I was very successful with them. But I think my warm market has a little problem with me because going from that kind of business, and I was a health professional, into selling personal finance, I'm having a problem with. So lots of times when I'm doing my warm market, I'll step back and say, hey, let my senior advisor take over. I don't, you know what I mean? I'm even trying to get it,
Perfect.
for Robin and that, but Ruth has explained it to me, so I'm working on that. But I get an unbelievable work. I just sent 40 text messages constantly to my husband works for the post office. All the drivers are 59 and over, getting them to roll their 401ks over like we did for my husband. So I'm out there. I hustle every day. It's just I haven't had the look, and my whole question was, I got 45 appointments in 3 weeks, and most of them didn't answer. I don't understand how we get punished immediately for that. That's all I'm saying. I get the hard work. Ruth will tell you I'm the hardest worker you'll meet. It's just that I don't get
Sherry,
how
we
I
can
got
work
out of
on
it.
it. Sherry, the law of numbers is going to be on your side. We can work on that. So we'll take that off of this forum and we'll work on that. Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you for your time, everybody. I
I
appreciate
do
it.
want to answer Kitty's question. IPSY is issue paid sales efficiency. It is basically taking issue paid business against the cost of the appointments, and it gives you a percentage. And you do get credit for submitted business, depending on your placement, and it stays on the books for 8 weeks. And by the time 8 weeks is over, it either becomes issue paid or it drops off. But you do get 100% of all issue paid business for the duration of the 5-month cycle. Maybe I made that more complicated than I needed to, but it's issue paid sales efficiency. All right, and I want to make sure I leave a lot of time for Michael. And Brett indicated that we will be having an Afortus TV on this subject. All right, Michael, take it away.
Good morning, Afortus. How's everybody doing today? It really looks really good that everybody's moving forward, in the company. And that's what it's about, okay? So today I'm going to talk a little bit about becoming a closer, okay? Now, Brett gave us last week the reset. What is the reset? Okay, basically the reset is we're starting all over today. We've got to get these agents that are openers now, we got to get them to closers. All right, so we can stop this split here. All right, so that's what we want to do is stop the split so we can get more money into your pocket. Okay, so how do we do this? Okay, level 3, second presentation. All right, so we got to have our level 3. We have to have our second presentation in order to turn in. We've got to go through 4 splits. Now, some agents have problems with these 4 splits. Why do I have to do 4 splits? And this is what I tell the agents. It's going to take you 3 to 4 times watching an experienced agent so that you know how to close. We don't want to send you out of the nest, okay, out into the world if you're 40%, 50%, because you're probably not going to close deals. So it normally takes about 4 closes. Now, in my region, if you can get it in 3 or 2, which I don't think you can get it in 3 or 2, I'll let you go. It's not about the RM, the trainer, or the DC. with our hands in your pocket to take half of your money. Okay. That's not what it's about at all. You have to learn and master that second. So when you get out there, okay, you can close these deals. Number three, you've got to have at least 10,000 points, issue paid points, not points that are turned in, but issue paid points. They've come through the pipeline and you've gotten paid for it. This is how you become a closer. Now, we want to try to get this closer within 2 weeks after opener. That sounds kind of hard, and I've been thinking about this, but it can be done. Okay, if you are really focused on what you're doing and you want to get your trainers, DC, RMs, hand out your pocket, that's all you have to do is apply yourself. Okay, and you can make it. Next slide, please. Okay, next commission bump. All right, so we started at a 45% contract. And as you see up at the top, it says up here 45% contract. Basically, you should be doing about, what are we saying here? We got 45,563. And then they have what that would be for like an hourly wage on here. Okay. So at a 45% contract, that's an opener coming in, you should be making somewhere around, and you're doing it yourself. Nobody's closing for you, about 91,000. Okay. That you should be making. Okay. 50%, 45% is opener, 50% is a closer. 50% closer, 101, 250. Okay. And at the 10,000 point, that's where you become a closer. 30,000 point, 55% contract. You get your issue paid, you've got your 10-week average, then you can be promoted to a DC. Now we're looking at ARM, I'm very sorry, okay? 60% contract, okay? And I just love how it just keeps going up, okay? 121,500. Now, this is base. This is base. Of course, it could be more and it could be less if you're not writing there. And then the RM, and this is where you want to be at. This is where the magic starts. I tell everybody at a 65 to 70% contract, okay, 131,000. And actually, I think that number is a little bit low because it could be a lot more. All right. So these are the next commissions that you want to go for. Now, I'm at the top, but my next point I'm trying to get to is to ARM. All right. But this is what we want to do. We want to keep moving forward to get to where the magic starts. And basically, for me, that's an ARM to an RM. Next slide, please.
Hey, Michael, and of those figures do not count overrides.
Correct. Okay. Your next income level requires your next skill level. Very, very big. Okay. So a recruit, okay, coming on, getting on appointments. What are you doing? You're learning the system. Remember, this is what you have to do. Okay. You have to show up. You have to get the information, which turns into knowledge. Then you put it into action, and then consistency. That's the formula of what we need to do. Okay. So a recruit getting on appointments. So they're starting. Okay. They're a baby. Okay. And they just jumped into the water learning how to swim. Now you become an opener. What does that do? Creates opportunity. What does that mean? Creates opportunity. You're in front of somebody. That's opportunity. You're talking to somebody. You have a chance, okay, to get an application. So an opener creates opportunity. Closer, application, converts the opportunity into an application. All right, so we've got an opener that creates opportunity that converts into a closer. If you're closing, or if you have a trainer or a DC or RM, okay, that's where it's converted over into an application. Okay. Number 4, trainer, DC, promoting others. That's where you start into leadership. This is what I'm working with now in my region. Now I have 2 DCs, all right? And we have meetings, leadership meetings on Tuesday, and it's with my DCs and upcoming leaders. And what I'm doing is explaining their job to them. And I think that's something that we need to do. I kind of made that mistake with my first DC, Woody Sargent. I really didn't give him the roadmap of what I wanted him to do as a DC. You know, he was very, very good with his pen, but then moving over into leadership, that's another world right there. Now we've talked about it. My DCs, they know what they're responsible for. And what are they responsible for? Their district. Everybody that's up under them, they're responsible for that district right there. So what are they doing? They're duplicating success. All right. They're making mini me's of themselves. I made mini me's of myself with them. Okay. As I say, if I go into the house and spin on my head and put my thumb in my mouth, you do the same thing because we're probably going to walk out with a check. All right. And that's where it really starts right there. You got to duplicate. You cannot give your agents up under you something that you're not doing. You've already proven that you're a winner because you're at that point. DC, ARM, RM. So you've proven it because you got there. Now you just teach the agents up under you the same thing you do. Okay. If you're working on a F&A, let them work on the same F&A. Create mini me's of you. Okay. Then the last one, leader duplication. Basically what I just talked about there. But here's where it really comes. If you do it right, we got something that's called overrides. We're going to talk about this a little bit more down the line. Next one, please. Overrides. I love this one right here. Okay. All right, so this is the way that this works. Now, this is for a associate regional manager. All right. Agent number one, and I want you guys to get this. Agent number one at a 45% contract. If they turn in 3,600 points at 60% contract, wait, let me back this back up. Okay, you're at a 60% contract. The ARM. The agent is at 45% contract, so there's a 15% difference. That's your override, okay? That's 540 points that you would get paid on. Agent number two, 45% contract, 2,800 points. ARM is 60%. Agent of 45%, 15% override, 420 points. Agent number three, 50% contract, 6,000 points. 60% contract for the ARM, 50% contract for the agent, 10% override, 600 points. And then also we have number four, 55% contract at 4,800 points, 60% for the ARM, 55%, 5% override, 240 points. Now, that extra 1,800 points for each week, you're on track for $93,600 per year in overrides. That's where the magic starts. Overrides. Next screen, please. Okay. And let me give you guys a little bit of a story here, okay? In my systems call, probably about a month ago, I was talking with Kuhlman, and Kuhlman said, Michael, let me show you this right here. And then so he showed me at my contract, at a 70% contract as an RM, and if I had an agent, okay, that turned in 3,600 points, okay, basically at 3,600 points, I'm at a 65, I'm in a 70% contract. They're 45%, that's 20 or 25% override, 720 points. And I don't think that's points, that's dollars, correct, Kuhlman?
Yes.
That's 700. Okay. Instead of points, that's dollars. So this is what when Kuhlman told me this, a light bulb just went off in my head. Okay, because I've heard it before about the overrides, but I wasn't at that point to get overrides. Okay, but just think about this. You need 3,600 points just to get on board. Okay, to get on leads. They're at a 45% contract. At 65%, okay, at your contract, you get an override of $720. I was like, wow, it got my attention. Then I was thinking, it's like Tanya turned in like 12,000 points. So I did the math. That's like 2,400 just in overrides there. Okay. That stayed on my mind for like about 2 freaking weeks. That's where the money's at, is in these overrides. That's where the money's at. Now, in my region, I don't do any splits. Okay. People come into my region, I give them straight to my trainers or my DCs. The only time that I run a second for somebody is if either my trainer or my DC can't do it, because that's the way that Brett set it up. Okay. You feed your team up under you. So what is the REMs, the ARMs reward? Is these overrides. But there's two things that you need for these overrides. Does anybody know what the two are? No REMs, know what the two are. Okay, so let me tell you. Number one, you got to have your agents up and writing. If nobody's writing, there's no overrides. Okay, so your agents need to be out there writing. The second thing that you need in this area right here, you've got to be licensed in the states that they are. That part right there, I lost thousands of freaking dollars by not being licensed in the states that my agents were in. I rectified that problem. When I first started with Afortus, up until RM, I think I had like maybe 5 states. Okay, so I've been working on this for about the last month. Now I got about 38 states, and then I would say sometime this week I'll get with my VA and I'll get the rest of the states. So no matter where my agents write a piece of business, I'm licensed in there. Okay, to get this doggone override money. All right. So that's what we want to look at on what we're doing, okay, is the overrides. Now, again, an extra 2,660 points for the week, that's $138,000 and some change in a year. Now, for me, using my own pen, getting the overrides, okay, wow, that really pushes me up. Now, for me, for my goal on what I'm doing at the end of this year, I got to have 20 agents that's writing. And out of that 20 agents that's writing, I need 14 people that's always in IPSY. That way everybody eats. We got our agents moving forward. Okay. We've come from opener to closer. Okay. We've got our trainers, our DCs, our ARMs, our RMs out of our pocket. We're getting all of our commission. We're moving forward. And as I've always said, the magic starts when you become an ARM or an RM. So for the agents that are here that are not moving forward, hey, you need to start running. You need to start running, because we're all here for one thing, right? Money, okay? Cash, moolah, paper, cheddar, racks, whatever you want to call it. We got to get paid, all right? So what we need to do, okay, is hit the reset button. We're starting all over again. We got to get our agents up to closer within 2 weeks. Okay, and if we can't do it in 2 weeks, we need to get it a little bit quicker. Okay, and here it is right here. Okay, opener 3,600 points, training cell, level 3 video, weekly stat report. That's another thing. Got to turn in that weekly stat report. Okay, a closer. To make a closer, you got to go through 4 split sales. Okay, or dealing with whatever your regional manager is working with on you. 10,000 points. A level 2 video presentation sent in. A trainer, close 2 sales on your own. Ooh, that's what you want, is all the money, right? 13,000 points. For a district coordinator, 30,000 points. 10,000 issue paid points on their own. 2,000 10-week average. What does that mean? Okay, you got to keep turning in business where you have an average about $2,000 on a 10-week average, okay? 1 recruit to closer, associate regional manager, 2,500 10-week point average, issue paid average. You got to promote 1 DC, 2 recruits to closer, show proficiency, CEO interview. You got to go through Brett, VP recruit interview. Okay, that gets you as a associate regional manager. Regional manager, 2,500 points, 20-week average issue paid. Promote 2 DCs, 4 recruits total to closer. Show proficiency. CEO interview again. Yep, got to see Brett again. VP interview. VP interview, if not an ARM. Okay. And then your next one is to an area manager. Area manager is where you want to be. You've got your own region that's producing, you're producing on your own pen, and you get 10% of the regions that's up under you. Okay. That's my next step is to get up there with the Godfather, Rick Thomas. All right. Now, this can be done. I've done it. Every ARM and RM that you see on the Afortus port, we did this. And it wasn't easy. Okay. There was a lot of freaking rainy days. All right. But we pushed through this. All right. But it starts at the beginning, starts as that opener. Take it step by step. Don't look at the last part, which I want to be an area manager. No, I'm an opener. I want to look at being a closer now. Conquer that. I want to be a trainer. Step by step. Work closely with your ARM. Work closely with your RM. Why? Because we've done it and we can show you how to do it. Is there another slide? I'm out.
All right, Tanya, turn it over to you.
All right, thank you. Good morning, Afortus. And I'm so excited. I did not know that this was official today. So thank you for the wonderful surprise. What a great way to start the week. So I'm gonna be excited. But anyhow, steps to district coordinator. Oh my goodness. Lots of hard work, and you gotta have grit, guys. But everything that's been talked about today literally just falls in line. The path is there for us. We just have to keep pushing. I was going to give up several times, but here I am, and I've got the district coordinator's one milestone. Now it's RM, but how do you get there? So you gotta become a trainer and developing an agent into closer. Now, what does this mean here as far as a trainer? You gotta put in time, guys, with your agents. Michael, I learned so much from him on this, on putting in the time, which wasn't my initial experience, but making sure you're there, guys, for your agents. Identifying who is your next general, who are our next leaders, and developing them into a closer. And this right now, we really want to try and get people to be closers here. Within 2 weeks after their openers. We're not here to work for free, but it's all about consistency. And that's what I've learned. That's really what it takes, guys, is you got to put in the work and be coachable. DC, you also need issue paid 30,000 lifetime points. How do you do that? Again, it's that weekly consistency, and that happens by getting in front of people. Your world market, that B-Lead campaign is fantastic. I picked up a couple of apps from that myself. And you don't know what opportunities are there. And referrals, I that's something I haven't mastered here with Afortus yet, but I just started getting some from existing clients. Easiest applications that you're going to run, guys, but that's how you get there. You do have to have at least 10,000 of those points on your own pen. So not just the splits with your agents, you have to be consistent yourself, which is important. As a leader, you should be leading from the front anyhow to show that what you're doing, you've mastered and honed your skills. So you want to do that to begin with, period. And then you need your average 2,000 10-week average of issue paid points. And this, I almost thought I wasn't going to get there. And then a whole bunch of business went through. I've been meeting with Cumin and Michael, and Cumin didn't tell me. Cumin, we meet this Wednesday, so we're going to have a talk about that. But you didn't tell me I made it, but I'm so excited. And again, guys, it's just about that consistency. Get in front of people, do those appointment reviews. As your trainers should be spending the time with you to coach you on that. And it's just a continued growth from here. And now the next journey, of course, is to regional manager. So I thought I could take a break. No, I can't. There's no such thing. I have to push even harder now. We've got some runners now that have got some momentum. Gina will just got her first sale, so I'm excited to get her moving, but that's who I see is going to be one of our next top leaders that I'm working on developing here for now my next promotion for regional manager. That's all I got.
Thank you, Tanya. And now, Chantra V, please take her away.
Hey guys, I literally have like 1 second because I have a second right now. But all right, steps to regional manager. You want to submit your letter of intent. So you definitely want to develop 2 agents to closer, for ARM, and for, let's see, 4 closers to RM. So yes, it can be a little challenging, but you know, just get them up and going. It'll happen over time. And then promote 1 new district coordinator and 2 district coordinators for RM. And then of course have a 2,500 10-week average issue paid. So I am on my way to regional manager, hopefully by the time we get to leadership conference. But yeah, thanks guys. I gotta go. Sorry.
Thank you, Chantra V. Awesome. And we will save Heath and Michael for the beginning of next week's call for what they have done this week to ensure that both Tanya and Chantra V are promoted by leadership to their respective RM positions, and what they're doing week to week to making sure that that happens. But we'll save them for this next week, as well as borrowing a life. We'll talk about that this next week as well. And the 10% bonus eligibility, each writing agent producing is eligible to earn a 10% commission bonus for eligible products submitted. That's going to be the Pass Setter and the Everlast. And how you do that is by issuing and placing during this stated eligibility period. Every agent in the company received the next slide that I'm going to go over with you. No other products or policies qualify for the commission bonus payment, but these 2, the Pass Setter and Everlast. And here's how we're right now in the thick of qualifying for this. It started in August. Take a snapshot picture of this slide right here. Go back to your emails, and everybody that is appointed with F&G and is a seasoned agent. This is a seasoned agent bonus that's paid out based upon you have already have a track record writing business. There will have needed to have been business that you've written with them throughout the year already, and now you're going to be able to reap the benefits based upon this quarter and next quarter. Between now and the end of the year, all business that you submit get placed and is issue paid and stays on the books. You'll get a 10% bonus on. Follow the steps. Keep the understanding of each of the points that's listed on this slide and this slide. Take a picture of this one as well too. Go back, look at your emails, talk to your leaders. Make sure that you understand exactly how you're going to get that 10% bonus. We'll go over it again this next week, but start right now. Figure out how you can write business this week so that you too can qualify for an extra 10% bonus over and above whatever your contract is right now. And then next week, in addition to following up on what I've already talked about on confirming appointments, we will also be talking about the 10-step process to successful placement, persistency, and higher income. Excited about that. Thank you guys. We'll see you all at the top. Bye-bye.